Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I'm checking my volumes for Mr. B because I forgot to do that. Now, this video right here...
Just a moment, Rashir.
This video right here, when I first saw it, I was like, oh no, here they go again. They're trying to act like capitalism failed or whatever. This guy wrote a book called What Went Wrong with Capitalism, and I thought I was about to watch some more of their bull crap where they're trying to promote, you know, the guy over there, the Dr. Evil guy that we can't say on this channel without being censored, but how we need some new form of capitalism. Truth of the matter is, we've been lied to. Everybody listening to my voice needs to listen to this man, because this man is somebody is finally telling the truth. There's absolutely nothing wrong with capitalism. In my opinion, capitalism has been intentionally destroyed from the inside in the United States of America and maybe around the world too. Listen to every word he says.
Ted, just a moment, Rashir. I'm so pleased. His new book is out
what he's talking about here. A lot of this is what led me to crypto eventually.
Today, what went wrong with capitalism? The whole thrust of this book basically is that capitalism has been, I guess, it's been ruined by big government. And we don't need capitalism 2.0 or some type of woke capitalism. We need to return to real capitalism because big government spending, deficits, regulation have spoiled capitalism. And the reason that you name it that is, you know, no one's going to read it.
You're projecting. You
just said that.
Other elements of the book.
No one's going to read it. No one's going to read it if you don't. You can preach to the choir. You want to bring in people that hate capitalism and show them what the real problem is.
Yes, exactly. And I think that so far that seems to be succeeding. Although today is my launch day. But
good. Everybody should read this.
Right. But the early buzz, what I can make out is this.
They're saying that because all of their friends hate capitalism, including them. Most of them probably hate capitalism too, because they're the ones that have been allowing all this to be promoted. For instance, involving climate in capitalism, it has nothing to do with it. Never did.
A lot of people have come on your show and spoken about how government spending is out of control, how budget deficits are out of control. What I try and show in this book is that it's a suite of government habits. If you look at regulations, we introduce now, America, 3,000 new regulations a year.
And don't get rid of any of the old ones.
In the last 20 years, we've gotten rid of 20 regulations in total, right? So 3,000 every year, we get rid of 20. Then we've become a bailout nation. You know, it's a history that even I learned as I was researching this book, which is that back in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, right up until the 1980s, the concept of the American government bailing out a private sector company was heretical. It was said, we don't do this. Then you get the...
Exactly, which is where it should be now.
First big bailout in 1984 of Continental Illinois.
Yep.
And after that, it's been a succession where you get progressively bigger and bigger bailouts, where now it's become almost analogous, as I've said in the book, to our culture of pain management, which is that you get the slightest pain, you give them opiate, right? So, and you have an opiate crisis.
Wait till you see my part in the XRP Unleashed documentary. I hit this stuff hard.
Result. Similarly, like on the economy now, the risk has become socialized, which is that when things are going well, when things on the upside, let them run. The moment there's the slightest flutter or something is going wrong, we're going to intervene, and the government has your back. So this is not what capitalism was really meant to be. So it's a suite of government habits. On your show, you had people focus just on government spending or even the Fed in terms of the asymmetry of the Fed. But what the book tries and do is to show you over the last 100 years how capitalism has progressed to this very distorted form of what we have today. Bernie Sanders would like to call it socialism for the rich, but this is very socialized risk.
Andrew, there is something for everyone in this, because this is not just government's fault. This is big corporations that want bailouts.
Yes.
But they ruin capitalism too. That's the thing. So we've got problems from government
because they've socialized.
And corporatism.
The problem is that the gain, it's a cliche. The gains have been privatized, the losses have been socialized.
But the moral of the story remains that if you can, they're both at fault, governments and corporations, but capitalism in its purest form is the way we need to go.
I'm not sure you say that either, because you also talk about competition.
Yes, but I say, like in the book, that
that's
the
what capitalism is.
No, but that there's not enough competition.
Right, but
Yes.
that
goes to the government part.
and that hurts capitalism.
Yeah, because
But you need government to do that.
But my regulations,
Maybe.
Andrew, tend to be pro-incumbent and pro-big business, because who are the people who are able to game the regulations? Who are the people who are able to pay for the entire regulatory environment? It is principally big business. If you look at small businesses today, the cost, for example, on Wall Street, you speak to people, the cost of setting up a new fund today, if you're a small person, is 10 times larger than what it used to be 20 years ago.
So you can never
therefore,
get it back.
Yeah, exactly. So you have all the big hedge funds, the big people who are out there who are able to do it, and you have these like enormous growth there. But for anyone new looking to do this, it's become very tough. And that's just a microcosm. It's happening across.
That guy knocked it out of the park. He's 1,000% right. Uh-oh. Look at this now loading Apex 2024. I hope Ripple has not put music over this. It's copyrighted. Isn't it amazing how good looking their sets are? Cool. Looks like they're going to have a pretty cool event. Here's a XRP Cafe put up a cool picture. Ripple always does things in a pretty darn classy way. Here's some of the sponsors right here. Looks like they've got the Block, who has always been Ethereum. That's a good sign that an Ethereum company is in here covering Apex. Then we've got walking to XRP Ledger session room. This is cool. There's a lot. This thing's getting bigger every single year. Wanted to show you this clip. This is from Black Swan Capitalists, curious about the future of finance. It's simple, follow the money. Folks, I don't know if you're really seeing it, but you can see it happening right before your eyes. I believe we're watching USDC and the Ripple stablecoin become the de facto US dollar. I mean, there are two regulated US dollar stable coins that are about to come in, take over the whole scene, it looks like. So let's watch this clip.
We have a chance to improve cross-border payments with huge benefits, and there is a pressing need to do so.
But now we have someone from the private sector, Brad Garlinghouse, who is the CEO of the financial technology company Ripple.
We're selling technologies to banks and financial institutions to solve a cross-border payments problem.
So XRP ledgers tend to close about every 4 seconds, and they're pretty consistent in that. Bitcoin blocks produced every 10 minutes, but you can have an hour with no block, or you can have 2 blocks produced at the same time because it is a probabilistic process. Distributed agreement protocols are not probabilistic.
There's not enough room for all these blockchains. So you see Flow raise a ton of money. You see Solana raise a ton of money. You see, Binance have a lot of money. You're trying to, play their games, do their thing, right? And so unless you can get enough critical mass, you're fucked, right? And maybe it's 80%, maybe it's 90% of the blockchains that you'll hear about, read about, see are done. They're not going to make it.
XRP is a fantastic currency to use for, among other things, hedge funds. We need to move a lot of money very quickly. We make investments all over the world. Our LPs come from all over the world. And using banks to move money is a pain in the ass. I mean, it takes a day or two to move money around the world. And with XRP, our very first close was 50 million. We moved that money in, and I'm not shitting you, in like 3 seconds. And I think it cost 20 or 30 cents. You really need to think about that.
This is something the empire must have to stabilize our currency, and it is coming. And I think there's a chance it comes before the election.
Digital currency solution is the most important technological advance I've seen since the internet.
Folks, you can see it. I mean, it really does. We've talked about it here for 6 years. You can see it forming. I see USDC, Ripple stablecoin, regulated US, almost like the US dollar, representation of the US dollar. There will be others, but they'll be 2 of the leaders. And then you've got XRP, this world bridge currency, maybe like a bridge like the PetroDollar, maybe like a basket of currencies including XRP to help grease the skids, lubricate, be like a lubricate oil for the world. You can see it happening right before your eyes right now if you're paying attention. And then there's this one, look at this.
If Saudi Arabia really does decide to make the move away from the US and does support trading oil and pricing oil in other currencies, that would mean again that there would be much less demand for US dollars. The reason why that is so important is because if the demand for US dollars diminishes, then we lose our biggest asset. The United States government's biggest asset, biggest thing that they export are actually US dollars. With the way that the debt is right now, if we continue to see a decline in demand for US dollars and for US debt, then we are going to continue to see rates increase and rapid inflation, the likes of which we've never seen before.
Man, wouldn't it be nice if XRP sucked up some of that inflation? Wonder what the price of that would look like then. Okay. Now, in DAIXRP.com, we're going to talk about a video I saw going around, and I think it's directly over the target. And we'll talk about it a little bit. I'm the digital asset investor, not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. This video, right out of the gate, is kind of surreal because the guy says something that I've never heard. In 6 years of being in this, I've never heard it put this way. Here we go.